Tate speech has a review of Spider-Man 2021. So Spider-Man Far From Home. Or no, wait. Spider-Man 2021, honest review. Does he mean... What does he mean, 2021? Oh, he's reviewing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, but he's reviewing it this year or something? Very strange. We're gonna watch that, though, to see what Tate thinks about Spider-Man. Isn't that the incel guy we found out was the teacher? Indeed it is. FitX Fearless, MGTOW guy. We have MJ Get Right, another MGTOW guy. Sandman, who is the upward inflection MGTOW guy. Terrence Pop. We Hunted the Mammoth, that just has articles on incels and MGTOW individuals, and I don't know. What do you guys think we should do first? Tate is such a G, he got an early release of the game. Tate first? Okay. I agree. We're gonna do Tate first. So Tate, I guess, is gonna do a review of Spider-Man. I don't know why there hasn't been a there's no new Spider-Man movie out to review. But here we are. Oh, that's loud.
Spider-Man's a pussy.
We did it! We did it, everyone! You know that Arrested Development scene where Michael opens the fridge and it's a bag and it says dead pigeon, and he opens it and it's a dead pigeon, and he goes, I don't know what I expected. That's how I'm feeling right now. Okay. We can continue.
I cannot remember how this conversation started about superheroes, whatever, and I was talking about how all superhero movies are stupid and it's all bullshit, but the worst of them all is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a bitch.
Because Spider-Man has feelings like a normal human being? Is that why, Tate?
If you like Spider-Man, you need to seriously reassess your life. He was a dork who got bit by a spider. Now he's super spider dork, and he still can't get laid.
Yes, because he's busy saving people like a good person. And even so, no, in the comics he dates multiple people. He ends up getting married to Mary Jane and having kids. He then sells that to the devil to save his, 97-year-old aunt from dying, but that's a story for another day.
Who's that bitch? Mary Jane Parker, some shit?
Mary Jane Watson. She does become Mary Jane Parker, though, thus showing that Spider-Man successfully gets a fulfilling marriage. Daddy Sume, F one more day. Yeah, very stupid. Peter Parker, that's the dumbest thing Peter Parker's ever done. For those of you who don't know, so at some point in the comics, Spider-Man did, he grew up, you know? Spider-Man does grow up in the comics, although it took decades and decades to do. He ends up marrying Mary Jane, and they have a wonderful marriage. It's not perfect, he's still Spider-Man, and they face struggles because of that, but they're married, right? And she knows he's Spider-Man, and it's great. Character progression. And then, at some point, Peter's aunt, and remember, this isn't like Marissa Tomei Spider-Man Homecoming Aunt May. This is comic book, old, gray, wrinkly, 90-something-year-old Aunt May She gets some terminal illness, I don't remember exactly what it is, or she was in some accident, and she's gonna die. And I think we all recognize that, as sad as it is, and it's a tragedy, losing people in our lives who are elderly is part of the cycle of life. And we all need to learn to deal with that in our own ways, as sad as it is, and as much of a tragedy as it is, and we all need to take time to mourn. Peter Parker, a married adult, chooses instead to make a deal with Mephisto, like literally the devil. There are multiple devils in the Marvel universe, but like he's the devil. Mephisto shows up and he's like, I'll save your 90-something-year-old aunt. Of course, she's gonna die soon anyway because she's like really, really old. But he's like, but you have to give up your marriage. So he makes a deal with the devil to save his 90-something-year-old aunt instead of just, like, learning to mourn in a responsible, like, healthy way. And his marriage is gone. This was a mandate from Marvel because they were like, oh, we don't want Spider-Man to be married anymore. We want Spider-Man to go back to being, you know, bachelor Peter Parker, yada, yada, yada. It was lame. Like, even if you're gonna do that as a mandate, you need to have a better reason for doing it than Aunt May's gonna die. Aunt May's gonna die at some point. That's a really stupid reason for Peter Parker to throw his entire life and future away.
You're Spider-Man. And she still won't have sex with you.
It's not working. You and me.
What? What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, but I don't want her to know I'm Spider-Man. I want her to still think I'm a fucking nerd. If I was Spider-Man, you think that bitch wouldn't be sucking and fucking?
There's nothing funny about the tools of
by hook or by crook. I believe, bitch, I'm Spider-Man. Come here.
Are we really shocked that Tate's version of having superpowers with great power comes great responsibility is to say, I have superpowers, I'm gonna use it to get laid? I can't say I'm shocked, but I'm still disappointed.
There's nothing funny
Shylock with 100 bits. I'm pretty sure this guy never thought critically about anything. He looks like a nerd, and that's offensive to his own construction. To his own construction of what masculinity is. Daddy Sume with a bit. Effing yikes. Just admitted R-A-P-E. Yeah.
Let's just say, okay, if by some crazy twist of...
The funny thing is, if Tate were in a Spider-Man movie, he'd be the villain. He'd be like, I don't know, he'd be Tate. You don't even have to tweak him that much. He's just Tate. But like, I don't know, he's buying a car on the internet with his fake millions of dollars. And somehow at the same time, lightning strikes his computer as he hits send, and he merges with a Lamborghini that he's ordering online. And he becomes Lamborghini Man! And Spider-Man has to fight Lamborghini Man because he's, like, using his Lamborghini powers to assault women.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I'd watch that movie. Daddy Sume with a bit. He wouldn't be a villain. He would just be a D-bag who gets a comic pratfall and gets his comeuppance. True.
Fate. Some crazy twist of fate. She goes, no, I don't want to. I'm like, psst. Fuck you talking about no?
Okay, so that would be assault, Tate? That would be assault. Like, if you have Spider-Man powers and you're using them to coerce women or force women into interacting with you, that's not okay. That would make you a supervillain.
But gee, Spider-Man. The only thing Spider-Man's doing is sitting at home jerking off. How are you a superhero if you're sitting at home jerking off?
I mean, because he saves people with his superpowers? You know that the definition of superhero has nothing to do with, like, getting laid, right? I know that's the lens through which you view every interaction, but has nothing to do with this topic.
Fucking loser. Spider-Man is a dork. There's nothing admirable about Spider-Man. Didn't he, like, he became Super Spider-Man, and then someone killed his uncle. Some robber killed his uncle.
Yeah, a robber that he let go free because he was being vindictive against the boxing organizer who didn't pay him his full amount.
Is this the right story?
Stay back!
My uncle! What happened?
There's nothing funny
Carjacker,
about
he's
the tools of
Kylie and
capitalism.
Derp with a bit. Tate would basically just be Flash Thompson, a-hole petty bully with no supervillain connotations. I guess. Tate has a bunch of money, though. And a lot of the villains in Spider-Man, like, use inventions and stuff, and I feel like he'd fall into that category. He'd be like a D-list Norman Osborn.
Been shot. Look, we just called the paramedics. They're on their way.
Some robber killed his uncle, and now he decides he wants...
Bittermer sank with 10 bits. Tate would be one of the guys that Spider-Man beats up when he's still trying to do the wrestling thing.
wants to stop crime to get the robber who killed his uncle. Does he even catch that robber ever?
Yes. Did you not watch the movie before you decided to make this video?
I don't know. I'm genuinely asking. Does he catch the robber? I don't know. If you guys know about Spider-Man, tell me.
Why are you making this video if you don't know?
Does he catch him? And does it? What does he do? Put him in jail?
He kills his uncle when he catches the robber. I don't know. He's a crybaby.
Does he hang the robber by his neck in the middle of the city with rope? So he and hangs him.
Cotton Candy 903 with 10 bits. Gotta wonder that his definition of admirable is, since he seems not to understand the word, you know. Freaking Out 99. Tate acts like Spider-Man never gets laid, but I'm pretty sure he gets with Black Cat several times. He does. Daddy Sume, the most Tate could hope to be would be the equivalent of Captain Boomerang. Right. He dates Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, Felicia Hardy, which is Black Cat. I'm sure there are more, but like Spider-Man gets in relationships. Thank you to... Oh, okay, never mind.
To death. No, he takes his ass down the police station to fill in paperwork. What kind of fucking superhero are you?
A good one? Like every superhero except for people like the Punisher tend to like arrest criminals or give them to the police. They don't murder them on the spot.
Killed your uncle.
Yeah.
He's a pussy.
Freaking Out 99. Didn't he briefly date Captain Marvel? Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that, but it's possible.
Killed Venom's uncle. Venom would fuck the dude up. But
yeah, Venom's a bad guy. At best, Venom is an anti-hero. Venom is a villain most of the time.
No, fucking Spider-Man. Oh, I'm taking him for justice. You're a fucking nerd, bro.
Tate is legit an evil person, and I don't think he has the self-awareness to recognize that, and it's very scary. How many women... And remember, Tate lives somewhere in, like, Eastern Europe because the property prices are lower and he doesn't have as much money as he claims to have. How many women has Tate murdered and hidden the bodies of, and he thinks he's, like, a cool guy? Over, under 5. What do you think? I'm thinking over, but I could be wrong. Women Spider-Man is romanced as a link? Okay, we can take a look. 15 women Spider-Man is romanced. Carol Danvers. So yeah, Captain Marvel. Oh yeah, Silver Sable. Jean DeWolf. Not familiar. Deborah Whitman. Leanne Tang. Kitty Pryde. Oh, Kitty Pryde from the X-Men. Liz Allen. Oh yeah, she was like in the early Spider-Man stuff. Betty Brant, who is the secretary at the Daily Bugle. Carly Cooper, Michelle Gonzalez, Anna Maria Anna Maria Marconi. Oh, from the Marconi crime family, probably. Gwen Stacy, Black Cat, Silk, who is another spider person, Mary Jane Watson. So Tate doesn't even know what he's talking about. Which is usual, but like...
Spider-Man's a nerd. Anyone who likes Spider-Man, by extension, is also a nerd.
Okay. That's fine. Sure, I'm a nerd. You're not wrong.
He was a nerd who got bit by a spider and became a super nerd. And why does he still live with his parents?
And he could beat you up if he were real, Tate. Like, is that why you're mad? Because a nerd, a fictional one at that, could beat you up?
You're a fucking superhero. You're living with your parents. Why? Or his uncle or his grandma or whoever the fuck he's living with. Those old people. Why?
It's his aunt, you idiot. Why are you talking about something you don't even know about? And again, it's funny to me that Tate considers these things to be, like, bad for Spider-Man, when the entire reason Spider-Man became as popular as he did, initially, was because Stan Lee and Steve Ditko wanted to create, like, a character that wasn't like Superman. You already had, like, your Clark Kents and your Bruce Waynes, and they were very put-together adult people without very many personal problems. Of course, this changed over time, but then Marvel came along, and you had characters like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, who weren't these heroic people up on a pedestal. They were normal human beings with their own petty human problems, but they also had the responsibility of using their powers for good. That's what drew people to Marvel Comics, was that they were very human and had very human flaws. And Tate's like, psh, I want you to be like Bruce Wayne, like 1940s Bruce Wayne. You just have no problems and you're rich. That's like, that's really boring, Tate. That's so boring. Cotton Candy 903 with a bit. I feel like his only exposure to Spider-Man is the movies. Yeah, I don't even know if Tate can read. Obo-Wan with 100 bits. It's his aunt, and when he turns into Spider-Man, he's 15 or 16, depending on the storyline. Yeah, he does get his own place. He ends up living in, like, apartments and stuff.
None of this makes sense. I'm a superhero, and I don't live with my...
Tate, you're not even a halfway decent person, much less a friggin' superhero.
My parents. So you're a superhero. Why the fuck you still live with your parents? Doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it. And the whole fucking, yeah, he was a wrestler or something, and then some guy robbed the wrestler, killed his uncle, and then he started crying his eyes out. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he has feelings like a human. Are you familiar, Tate, with feelings?
Fucking, I'm not allowed to say that. Can I say that? He's a... Can I say that? Tristan said I can't say that. All right.
Did he just use the F slur? Was that an F slur? Feels like that was an F slur.
You're a loser, Spider-Man. You're a loser.
No. Please.
There's nothing funny about the tools
MMO
of
Addicted with
capitalism.
500 bits. Oh gods, I just checked the debate comments. I'm so sorry you were treated that way, Hannah. You're valid. F all those idiots. I'm over it. It's okay. Freaking out 99 with a bit. Is it wrong to want to deck Tate in the face and ruin it? No, I get it. Cotton Candy 903. Does he not understand that teenagers don't live alone? I don't know. He doesn't know how old Spider-Man is. He doesn't know anything about Spider-Man. He doesn't even understand the stuff that's in the movie, much less the comics.
Please don't say that.
What else does Spider-Man do that offends me? There's something else he does that really offends me, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah. That's it. If you're sitting this and you're thinking, okay, Tate is eternally wise.
If that's your thought going into this and you're already halfway through this video and that's how you feel about Tate, I have bad news for you.
He's always correct. Everything Tate says is true. But on this one issue, I disagree because I always kind of liked Spider-Man. Let me ask you something. Look at the actors they have chosen to play Spider-Man.
Let's see. Tobey Maguire, very attractive. Andrew Garfield, a little less attractive, but that's gonna be subjective. But, like, he's an attractive dude. And then, I always forget this guy's name. Why do I always forget his name?
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Tom
capitalism.
Holland. Sorry, Tom Holland. Tom Holland. Also conventionally attractive, although I find it weird saying that because he plays like a 16-year-old. But he's an adult in real life, so I think that's okay.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Daddy Sume, Tom Holland, Bergamer Sank, Tate. Quote, if you get offended, you're weak. Also, Tate. Quote, I'm so offended by this superhero movie from the early 2000s, guys. Have you guys seen Tom Holland do the lip sync battle, thing where he sort of does drag? It's glorious. Go check it out.
We're going to show pictures of the last few Spider-Men.
Yeah, they look like Spider-Man. Spider-Man isn't supposed to be this, like, jacked dude. He's not Superman. Spider-Man is, like, athletic and acrobatic. He's not, like, a buff dude. He has super strength, but he's not defined in the same way. He doesn't have, like... He might have, like, abs and stuff. Let's see. Spider-Man in comics, shirtless. Doon, 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 doon. See, like, Spider-Man, like, he's got muscles, but he's not jacked, right? I mean, he's well-defined, but he's not, like, built. What's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't have, like, Clark Kent outward build, but he's very defined. He's got, like, a swimmer bod. Lean? Yeah. He's dex, not strength. True. Yes. Svelte? I don't know what it would be. But my point is, like, he has muscles, but he's not a beefy dude. He's just very well defined. Although also this is going to depend on the comics. Like this one, he looks more broad-shouldered. Here he is in the game, which is another pretty Spider-Man build. You know, you get it.
They're not men. They're barely boys. Look at these.
I mean, in the newer movie, yeah, Spider-Man's like 16. He's not a man, Tate. He's a boy. That's how Spider-Man starts in high school.
Spider-Men.
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was also in high school when he started.
At least.
And so was Tobey Maguire, though there's a time jump very shortly after. Daddy Sume, Tom Holland's The Langoliers is a truly amazing bomb. Oh, Tom Holland, the guy who directed Child's Play and also did the mini-series The Langoliers. The Stephen King, based on the Stephen King story. Had Balky from Perfect Strangers, had Al from Quantum Leap, had Quantum Meatballs eating the universe.
At least with Batman, I got Christian Bale.
Yeah, because he's Bruce Wayne. He's supposed to be a hyper, like, muscled out dude because he has no superpowers. There's a difference, Tate.
I'll kill you.
Why does Tate make videos about things he knows nothing about? Very strange choice.
But I don't have to save you.
The dork from Twilight. Everything gets ruined in the... Okay, now they're talking about making another one with the dork from Twilight.
Yeah, and?
Everything gets ruined in the end.
Why do you even care, Tate? Just go drive your Lamborghini real fast.
But for the last few Batmans, he was Batman. But look at the dorks they choose to play Spider-Man, because even Hollywood, even the people who are in charge of making the movies know Spider-Man's a bitch.
No, because that's what Spider-Man's build is like. He's not an ultra-muscly, like, bodybuilder.
Quickly, let's make a superhero who's actually secretly a little bitch. Find me an actor who looks like a bitch. Oh, this guy, yeah, he's a punk. He can be Spider-Man. It's all garbage. Spider-Man should be erased from the face of the planet. And I've decided the superhero to do it should be... I don't know shit about superheroes.
I'd like to think in this moment, Tate went, oh, why am I making a video about this? I don't know anything about superheroes.
Andrew Tate, me. I want someone out there who can write comics. This is a genuine task. Anyone out there who can design comics, anyone who's good with drawing or whatever. I want a 3 or 4 page comic where Spider-Man meets me. We meet on top of a building. I call him a punk. He tries to throw some web at me. I use my Aikido ninja moves.
There's nothing funny
Tate,
about the tools of capitalism.
calling other people dorks when you're asking for this. Glass houses. You know the phrase? Just saying.
And I destroy Spider-Man. If someone...
You know Tate loves Frank Miller comics. Yeah, probably. I don't think... Again, I don't know if Tate has ever sat down and really read something for fun in his life. Brittermer sank 20 bits on the topic of superheroes, and I don't know if you already said this. I haven't been to a stream in a few days. How do you hope they handle Black Panther now that Chadwick has passed? I'm hoping that Shuri takes up the mantle. I don't think it would be right to recast him. That's a tough question. I still think it's probably a little too early to talk about that in a respectful way, considering he just passed. I think the Shuri thing's probably a better idea, though, because they did do that in the comics at one point, but I don't really want to get into it right now. In let's say another month, we can maybe talk about that, just because, like, I'm sure his family's still mourning, people who really cared about the character still mourning. Like, I liked Black Panther a lot. And I know it meant so much, especially to so many kids who finally had this big superhero movie where the superhero looked like them, and it's such a tragedy, you know, that he died so soon. It's so sad. I just don't think it's appropriate to talk about it quite yet. Weepy Little Sheepy with 10 bits. Tate speech would be the kind of trash to expect an artist to draw his shit for free. True.
Someone creates that to me and emails it to me at the email address below. There'll be a cash prize waiting. And we're going to get... Cobrata Tate News at gmail.com. If anyone would like to draw like a Stickman comic of this, and then maybe instead of Tate winning, because I don't even think he said like he had to win the fight. Like... He just said Spider-Man tries to shoot webs at him and he tries karate. Well, how's that gonna work? You're gonna get stuck with webs and Spider-Man's gonna beat the crap out of you. Maybe draw Tate a little comic of that. And then send it to his email that he has offered here. Famous, we're gonna put it all over the internet, all over Tate speech, all over Twitter, it's gonna become everywhere. And
Cobra Tate News. Oh.
Spider-Man will be officially destroyed for the rest of humanity. And when people mention Spider-Man, they'll say, no, there is no more Spider-Man. Andrew Tate beat him. Read the comic. We're going to conquer Spider-Man right here, right now, and you're going to help. Fuck Spider-Man.
This is like the saddest. It's just the saddest. All right. Good luck with that, Tate. And by that, I mean just your entire life. Good luck with that.